These are the top 10 power forwards in the NBA. With the increasing emphasis on versatility and flexibility in the modern NBA, the power forward position has seen a unique evolution the past few years. Power forwards have gone from a paint presence to stretch bigs that took over the 2010s. Now, this position has really settled into a do-it-all role both offensively and defensively.
Just like in the previous list, we had to make some very tough decisions, such as leaving off Draymond Green, who has been the backbone of the Warriors defense for years and always is a pivotal piece on offense. Another player that we had to leave off was Kristaps Porzingis, who when healthy showed how dominant he can be, and it's looking to be a huge piece for the Celtics this upcoming season. So with that being said,
coming in at number 10, we have Evan Mobley. Mobley was already top 3 in DPOY voting in just his second season, and he's just scratching the surface of his potential. His combination of size, skill, and athleticism is rare, and it's only a matter of time before he becomes a dominant force in the league. His offense is not spectacular, but he has shown flashes of being a stretch big. His biggest flaw is one that a lot of young guys have, and that's lack of muscle.
The image that sits in my mind when I think of Mobley is Randle absolutely bullying him in the paint. Obviously, we know that Randle's a strong paint presence, but Mobley getting the show like that was unacceptable. With his natural defensive talent and length, having some muscle on him will allow the Cavs to become the team that they're expected to become. It's going to be very interesting seeing if Mobley stays at the power forward spot, because I think his best form will be center. But right now, he simply does not have the size to hold his own against the more physical bigs in the league. This situation reminds me a lot of Anthony Davis. He'll be better as a center, but the way he plays is more power forward like.
Coming in at number 9 is Aaron Gordon. Putting him here on this list makes us super happy because we love to reward guys that have put in the work. In Orlando, AG was asked to be the number 1 guy, and that wasn't really his role. Joining the Nuggets was the best thing that could have happened to his career. He's been able to focus on defense and has now become one of the best defenders in the league.
Offensively, he has a very easy job because he's able to play to his strengths. He stays in the dunker spot and is able to fill holes for everybody else on the team. These playoffs, we saw him guard Cat, KD, LeBron, and Jimmy Butler, and was a top 3 player for them in the championship run. We personally believe that he should have been an All-Star last year. That's how high we are on him. Him next to Jokic makes such a perfect front court, and with Jokic's passing ability and ability to also take the center away from the paint, Gordon gets to dominate.
At number 8, we have Lauri Markkanen. Lauri Markkanen won Most Improved Player last year, and deservingly so. He bumped up his points per game average by 11 points and went from someone who people were convinced was destined to stay as a role player to a straight-up all-star. The question now is Lauri Markkanen a true NBA all-star? Is he actually a 25 points per game scorer on 50% shooting from the field and damn near 40% from 3?
Those stats are amazing for anybody, so if he is, we're impressed. And we want to believe that he really is that good of a player. But we can't make sure, as we have seen other players surprise everybody one season, then fade away after. Something that does help him is that he's in a pretty good situation with the Utah Jazz. He is clearly the best player on the team right now, and they're not a bad team. They have enough pieces to be competitive day in and day out.
At number 7, we got Jaren Jackson Jr., the reigning DPOY. Say what you want to say about him, but this guy is talented. He can shoot with ease and is a top 3 shot blocker in the NBA. He's also more athletic than people think. We have seen him jamming on people multiple times. What makes him tough to rank is that his flaws stand out so much. The main one being how he fouls a lot and his lack of rebounding.
We just saw in FIBA how damn near the whole team out-rebounded him. Keep in mind, he's the second tallest person on that team. He also missed a lot of games due to injury and is constantly falling out. I gotta give him credit though for improving year by year, but man, he can be really frustrating at times. Regardless of all of that, Triple J's value is undeniable, and if he can get some of his issues figured out, he can end up as one of the greatest defensive players of our generation, while averaging close to 20 points per game for years to come.
Number 6 is Julius Randle. This past season, we saw Randle return to all-star form in the regular season and have the best season of his career so far. Randle is no longer the best player on his team. I would say that's for sure Jalen Brunson now, especially in the playoffs. But Randle is still a valuable player and can be the best player on many nights. Brunson made Randle's job a lot easier last year. In years prior, it felt like Randle was doing way too much, and in some ways, he still does. We've always said it. If Randle simplified his game, we could be looking at one of the best players in the league.
There is something to be said about a player that can push you through the regular season and play 75 plus games at an all-star level. Also, we're going to sound like a broken record saying this, but we just can't put him any higher due to how much worse he plays in the playoffs. Shows his last season. His averages went from 25 points per game, 10 rebounds, and 4 assists on 45% from the field to 16 points per game, 8 rebounds, and 3 assists in the playoffs on 37% from the field. That significant decrease is just too much to ignore, and it isn't the first time. You just can't trust a guy that continues to drop so much in the playoffs year after year. We can give him a slight pass this year because he was suffering from an injury, but it's very difficult to put that much trust on him and the Knicks as a whole.
At number 5, we have Pascal Siakam. Ever since Kawhi left the Raptors, Siakam has been a consistent all-star level player that has gone under the radar, and this past season had the best statistical season yet. Siakam has carved out a super solid career for himself. 2-time All-NBA, 2-time All-Star, and of course an NBA champion. Siakam can do a little bit of everything.
Sadly for him though, these past few years for the Raptors have been very awkward, to say the least. Multiple players that play similarly, and a point guard that was known as a shot shocker. That, along with uncertainty about his future from not only him but also the GM, does not give a lot of hope that the season is going to be any better. Still though, as an individual player, he's fantastic and is still cleared in his prime. We should hope that he gets put into a situation with the ability to help a team win a championship once again.
Number 4 is Zion Williamson. We recently just saw ESPN rank him as the 57th best player in the NBA, which is just straight up disrespectful. He's injured all the time, we know, but his performance on the court is too good to put him anywhere lower. How many people do you know can average 26 points per game on 60% shooting from the field? That's better than most centers in the NBA.
Last season, before he got injured, he was selected as an all-star starter, and deservedly so. He's one of the best finishes we've ever seen with our own 2 eyes. And he's in a great team. A team that was good enough to be the number 1 seed last year before it all came crashing down. We're praying that he's healthy this year, just like every other true NBA fan. We're tired of hearing people talk more about his off-the-court issues than him on the court.
At number 3, we got Karl-Anthony Towns. Kat is a tough player to rank because ever since he came in the league, his talent stood out above the rest. His shooting ability as a big man is unmatched and puts him up there with anyone all time. He averaged 25 points per game in just his second season and has constantly averaged over 20 points per game on good efficiency ever since. The problem with Kat is the intangibles. He's not really the type of person that you'll trust to be the best player on your team. We've seen him in the playoffs twice, and both times he's played mid, especially the first time.
Something that really puts into perspective the lack of fire that he has in him is how quick Anthony Edwards took the team from him. In 2016, heading into his second year, they asked every GM in the league who they will choose to start a franchise with, and 48.3% voted for him. Fast forward to today, and he has become an afterthought, and is not even in the contention for being the best center in the league. He heads now into the second season of the Rudy Gobert experiment, and we're hoping that he stays healthy and is able to have a strong season.
Number 2, it's Kevin Durant. There's really not much to say. Everyone knows who he is. He's Kevin Durant, one of the greatest players of all time, and arguably the greatest scorer of all time. He's in a team right now that has a super high chance to win. We just saw in preseason how solid their depth looked, which was really their only weakness.
Unfortunately, last year he missed a lot of games due to injuries, and that's something that's become a bit of a trend the last few seasons, ever since the Torres Achilles. Something that's also gone on the radar is how bad KD has been in the playoffs, ever since that incredible series against the Bucks. The last 2 years he was flat out disappointing, sometimes even bad. It's tough to really pinpoint what's going on with him, but it might just be him getting older. We're hoping that he can stay healthy because a healthy KD is still damn near the best player in the NBA.
And at number 1, to no one's surprise, it's Giannis Antetokounmpo. We're talking about a top 2 player in the NBA, the most dominant player in the league, and he's coming for a revenge season after getting bounced out in the first round by Butler in the Heat. But right now, he has Damian Lillard, his best teammate of all time, one of the best players in the NBA, by his side. The entire league should be very scared. It's been 2 years since they won a championship, and it feels like a second championship is near for him.
At this point, we're not going to sit up here and be like, oh, if only Giannis improves his shot or his free throws. We can confidently say that this is who Giannis is and who he's probably going to stay as for the rest of his career. Giannis is going to go out there, give it his all on both ends of the floor, and it's going to be a nightmare consistently for every single team in the NBA.
And there you have it, our top 10 power forwards in the NBA. This list wasn't as difficult to make as other lists, but it was difficult leaving some people off because there are so many deserving players. Based on recent performances, impact, and potential, these are our picks. As always, the NBA landscape is ever evolving, and we can't wait to see how these rankings might change in the future. This NBA season is going to be crazy, so stay tuned for us to break it all down for you guys. In a few days, we're going to drop the top 10 centers list, so make sure to check that one out.
And as always, thank you so much for watching. Please let us know your thoughts in the comments and give your list in the comments below. If you liked the video, please give it a like. And if you haven't subscribed already, please make sure to do so for more NBA content.
Peace out! Peace out.
Turn on your notifications so you're notified every time we post. Peace out! Peace out!